Hey guys, welcome to the vault. This is the Transformers section, and today I'm going to begin designing a custom lighting display setup using LED strip lights. What I wanted for this was to have multiple colors within the same power strip, within the same power source. So I didn't have to buy a bunch of different ones. I've got a power supply installed right here as a power strip mounted on the wall there with double-sided sticky tape. And from that power strip I'm going to be able to wire up several different colors. So I'm working with reds, blues, and purples. The idea is to combine several different colors within one shelf and try different things. Now, without knowing what I want to do, I need to try and test how colors look, whether it's going to be, I'm thinking some reds and blues for the Autobots, and Decepticons can have some purples and blues as well, and find out what, placement and that sort of thing. I've drawn up a basic diagram on how I'm going to have it wired. I'm going to have cords come up the wall here and kind of lead into the top. And so I'm going to want to have an idea of what the colors, the different lighting looks like before I just go ahead and install it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with a test strip. What this is going to allow me to do is take a little bit of strip and kind of hold it up there and see how the light falls on these guys. So I'm going to show you how to make that, and I'm going to show you what I do to get different color tests. I'm going to start with purple, and I'm going to start to see what the purple looks like on those guys. So maybe I want blue, maybe I want purple, we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and make my strip now and show you how I do that. Alright guys, I've got all the stuff together that I'm going to need for the test light strip. This is the purple. Now this is the 8mm wide stuff, and it is a single color. So I'm not going to need very much of this. I have my foam core board already cut. It's 3 inches wide here. So what I'm going to do is first I want to test my light, see if it works. Okay, so we have the purple is working. That means I've wired it right, because you can have that switched or flipped over incorrectly. So I'm going to want to have room on here for enough light. So I'm going to pick where that's going to be. Looks like that cutoff point is where I want to go. Now I know it's scary when you first cut into this stuff. You're like, oh my god, what am I doing? I'm cutting lights. But they're meant to be cut. So I just find the line and cut exactly between there. So that's good. Now I'm going to mount that here. And now I found that the actual sticky backing that they have isn't that great. But for these purposes, I'm going to go ahead and use just the sticky backing. I do have this double-sided mounting tape that I would put on there for a more permanent setup. So the challenge is always getting this stuff off. We'll get that. And now I'm going to put this kind of closer to the edge. And I'll show you why. I'm not really worried about whether or not it's straight. Now I've noticed that sometimes for stability I like to put a little bit of a piece of tape there on that end, because once this starts pulling up, it ends up wanting to keep going. Okay, I'm going to reinforce this with some double-sided sticky tape. And then I'm going to cut a piece for this to wrap around and be stable. Okay. So I'm going to put as less stress on that as I can so that it's not wanting to move around. All right, so now I have this test strip and I can plug it in and I can hold it up wherever I like. Now I'm going to make a blue one of the same type and we're going to test these. All right, I have the camera pointed at the shelf that I'm going to do some test lighting on. I've got my purple light here, and I've also got plugged in my blue light. All right. So first, I want to see what the purple light looks like over the Decepticons. And here with something like this, you know, I can see if I want to have the light further back, or if I want to have it directly overhead, or maybe more on the front, with less light in the back. Now I also have this double-sided tape. So I've cut 4 squares of that, 1 for each of the strips. And what I'm going to do is stick it on there, just a little square about that size is fine. Okay, I've got 2 squares on each end. So we're going to try to see where it looks good. I feel like automatically just holding it up there, just behind there, I mean, that's cool, but it's not illuminating the characters. So I'm gonna try kind of middle. Okay, so I'm taking a look at this, standing back. Now I want to see what some of the blue looks like. So I'm gonna take another couple squares on here. And I'm going to put this over on the other side so I can get connectors that will connect these 2 colors together so I can have one continuous strip. And once again, I'll just kind of hold it over areas to see what do I like. You know, I'm finding the further forward it is, the easier it is to kind of see. So I'm going to try to put this one maybe back a little bit. One of the main challenges of testing this kind of lighting is you want to test it on your display. And you want to test it and see how it looks at the figures. And it's very difficult to kind of install it around the figures. And so in order to take them all down and put the lighting up and then put them all back in, that seems like a lot of work. And so what I've done here is to save myself a little bit of time with that. Okay, so this is what I've arrived at as far as my placement. This is probably what I'm going to end up going with. I really like the combination of the blues and the purples. So what I'll do is I'll put a coupler between the purple and the blue strip so that I'll be able to put it all on one line. This right now is connected to 2 different power sources. They also have splitters that you can use to split that up, and I'll be using that here. I have one power pack that will be powering this whole shelf. So I'll have these, and then down underneath it, I'm going to test some lights next. All right, this is the second Decepticon shelf that I'm testing. I've removed the strips from the upper shelf, and I'm going to test some colors back here. Now, I'm not going to need to really bring the color that much forward because there aren't many figures in the back. The figures are all really up front. So I'm going to try to test some backlighting here and see if I can make it look decent. And I just ignore the existence of the cord, knowing that, you know, when I do install this, the cords will be all hidden. The trick would be, of course, to weave them in and out of the guys without hurting anything, knocking something over. So I'm taking a look. That doesn't look too bad. Now I thought also Bruticus back here would benefit, since 6-shot and double dealer are also in the blue turquoise kind of color scheme. And we don't get to see Bruticus very easily. He is kind of stuffed back there. So now that I'm looking at that, it really looks sharp. Okay, so that's how I test lighting to figure out how I'm going to install it on this shelf. I'm going to be doing in my next video 2 Autobot shelves. So thank you guys for watching. I will include a link in the description to all the products that I've used and where I got them, that sort of thing. And we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for part 2.